What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
Hey, hello everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about Fallout 76, a little expanded conversation that me and Chubbz found ourselves having the other day when I was looking at Metacritic reviews and other such things, Twitter comments, fucking videos on YouTube, a bunch of asinine idiots talking about Red Dead 2. Now, so this is going to be a Fallout 76 video in the beginning, then we're going to get back around to Red Dead 2, because Fagin made some good fucking points on my video that I want to talk about, because I didn't address them in that video, and I was so frustrated when I made that video, Chubbz, like...
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was very pissed, and I was telling Chubbz some of the shit they said, and I said, I told you the one comment that seriously said, this game is worse than Fallout 76.
Worse than Fallout 76. Really, dude?
And Chubbz from there came up with, like, what would be the best way Fallout 76 could have avoided any controversy, and actually could have been a goodwill handshake to the fans.
Oh, yeah. Instead of, like, ruining that goodwill and the trust by having Todd Howard up there lying. I mean, alright, let's...
Oh, he
technically
lied.
The legal term
no,
lying.
Fuck it. He lied just as much as Sean fucking Murray.
Yeah.
They're
like,
liars.
Yeah.
They are liars. They are con men. They are snake oil salesmen.
Oh, yeah. He was, like, building this up to be something. They were even teasing stuff that isn't in the game that was, you know, when it was released after a buggy pile of shit that was broken and didn't work and function as a game. Anyway, how they could have avoided this is legit a really good thing that Red Dead 2 did with the Red Dead Online. Is imagine a world, alright, where you don't have greedy corporate fucks constantly trying to have you buy into a game that is saying just play me only all the time without offering a grander experience. That's what Fallout 76 did, right?
Red Dead 2 did that too with the online.
Well,
but on the flip side of that coin, it was on a very
they did it with the microtransactions and all that. And yet, whether they're predatory or not, that's a different discussion. But the comparison between the two is Red Dead 2 has the online mode for free. And it's like pieces of the game that was in the single-player mode, right? You have your gangs, you can rob banks, you can pull off jobs, you have the honor system, which means you can either go outlaw or good guy.
From what I hear, the mission structure is actually pretty boring.
Right.
But it is like daily, weekly. It's a free-to-play mobile grind. It would be the same. You played a bunch of that game. Oh, fuck. What was that game? I made a tips and hints video on it that still does really well.
Oh, Let It Die.
Let It Die. It's like playing Let It Die.
Okay.
Like, it wants you to pay for shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's apparent in Let It Die. Like, Let It Die wants you to pay for shit.
Yeah. Legit.
And that's how Red Dead 2 is.
Okay. So, but the thing is it is a shallow version of the single-player game, only online, right? Like, you can play with your friends, you can play with random people. And that's exactly what Fallout 76 is when you look at it through the scope of Fallout 4. It is literally things that you do in Fallout 4, like the building. You have to, like, supply water, you have to purify water, you gotta, like, go to these nuclear sites and, like, blow up hard enemies. Like, it's a very shallow version of Fallout 4, granted, but they cut it.
Well, the quests in Fallout 4 that were like that were definitely like that, but it was helped by the fact that there was a grand narrative being told. Like, I don't mind bullshit busy work quests or missions. Like, think of WoW. Think of how many times you just went and found food for a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what's interesting about it. It's not that you're going to get food. It's that you're in this zone and it's these people who need your help. This is what's going on. They tell you why they need food, what's going on. And it's sort of like it builds a narrative for you that it's not just like, oh, well, you're going to pick up 10 fucking pieces.
Type
you're going to go kill 10 boars and pick up 10 slabs of meat.
Right.
It's like, it's more than that. It's these people need food because, you know, and that's the difference.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though, is like Fallout 76, there's building, like from Fallout 4. You know what I mean? The shooting is exactly like Fallout 4.
It's an asset flip from everything I've seen.
The badass monsters are like legendary super mutants with a star, and they even have like the legendary gear marked with the star, just like Fallout 4.
Yeah, dude.
So my whole point is like Red Dead 2 Online is that of Red Dead 2, you know, and then Fallout 76 is that same equivalent of Fallout 4.
And when you compare those two products, when you look at Red Dead 2, I never played Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Right.
I never played it. I'm going to play it because Cam's going to let me borrow it. That's the only reason Cam owns a fucking PS3.
Is
like,
for
straight
Red
up.
Dead
Yeah, for
Redemption.
Red Dead 2. Or Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
He's like, that. I played that on it, and then it just sits there and collects dust. Like, I never play it. I never use it. Like, I got it for that game. I played that game for, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. I remember Ari telling me the only reason he got a Pro was because he knew Red Dead 2 was going to be on the Pro before it was on the PC.
Yeah.
And so, like, he had a Pro, or a PS4 regular, and he upgraded to a Pro on a deal with a trade-in and things. And he was like, I did it because I want to see Red Dead 2 running fucking 60.
Right.
On my, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so, this game, it's so much different from, like, the first one. I've watched footage of the first one. It's the same. Like, it's got a lot of the same functions and things like that,
right.
carryover mechanics. But graphically, it's next level.
Oh, yeah.
It's the equivalent, and to be fair, I think Fallout 4 looks way better. Like, in looks way better than Fallout 3. It's just that it's sad to see that instead of expanding on already existing, like, RPG elements in it, the morality and things like that, instead of expanding on that, adding more dialogue options from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, like, because that's the thing about Red Dead 2. Like, Ari was like, it's more spaghetti western, kind of ridiculous, like Rockstar style, because you know how Rockstar is.
Oh, yeah, they're, like, over the top.
Yeah, stereotypes and, like, over the top, you know, shit. So he's like, it's sillier. Like, it has some serious points, and it's definitely got a really good ending. But, like, overall, it's more jokey, more spaghetti western. And he said, this one feels much more thematic, like, time period, like, almost like, he didn't say this, but the way he described it made me think, like, almost like an Assassin's Creed game. Say what you will about Assassin's Creed game. Like, they go through painstaking effort to do the best they can with historical things in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Things that, concrete, hard shit that people do know, like, they put in there. They try to make it as legit to the time period as possible.
Right.
But you look at that. Look at, like, fucking Red Dead 1 to Red Dead 2, to Fallout 3 to Fallout 4.
Oh, yeah. But then...
The comparison is amazing. That's why when you said this, like... Oh, man.
It's like, and that's where we're getting to it, okay? Red Dead 2 has an online mode. Very shallow, yes. Free-to-play game, yes. It has free-to-play mechanics, yes. Predatory microtransactions, yes, absolutely. And people should not buy them, and people should fucking put their money where their mouth...
Boycott.
Put their money where their mouths are.
Boycott the shit, because the only reason that they have become this extreme is because GTA 5 Shark Bucks, or whatever the fucks they're called, made so much money.
Yep.
Like, that's why they're in there.
Because people will spend a ridiculous amount of money on them.
Like,
and then complain about it in the process.
Yes.
Right? So regardless of all that shit, it is free to play. Whatever you want to call it, it is free. Yes, you have to spend $60 on a single player campaign. Boo-hoo, I know it's so fucking sad that you're getting an entire experience in a full fucking AAA title with a free to play game added to it. But
there was a user review that we just looked at on Metacritic that gave it a 0.
0.
After the first sentence being, this is review bombing. That's review bombing.
Oh, yeah. After saying in the first sentence...
This isn't like legitimate beefs with the game's fucking technical issues, things like that. This is your problem with the fucking...
free-to-play, tacked-on fucking multiplayer
Well, the thing that you
game.
should have expected, because I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these users that are pissed off are people who spent hundreds of thousands on fucking GTA 5.
Oh, yeah.
Like, GTA 5 made the most money of any game ever. And not just any game ever. I watched a Jim Sterling video earlier. Any game, like, any piece of media. So, like, it made more than any movie of all time, I'm pretty sure. And more than any song of all time.
Any book.
Yes. It won.
It made the most amount of money.
So, when a fucking progression system and post-monetization system in a game makes millions and millions of dollars, and you yourselves, as GTA 5 online fans, as Red Dead Online fans, it's up to you to make that stop. Because if that's the reason they're not making money, they'll fix it in a heartbeat. You see it with games that can't survive the push and pull, like Warframe.
MMORPGs that go free to play after 3 months of charging you $15 plus a $60 fucking AAA price.
They don't have the weight to push that. They don't have the funds to push that. So it's like with Red Dead 2, it'll take a few months. Like probably 3 months, probably a quarter of the, a good quarter. After that, if they don't make any money, like except for off those ridiculously well-liked people that you're never going to get, even listening to this conversation that me and you are having right now, they're not going to listen to it. They don't want to hear it. Yeah. They don't want to hear that they're doing anything wrong. That's not the majority of gamers. But there's a fucking portion, and it makes up a big chunk of gamers that are buying these things.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is like, I would never hold it against somebody for spending money on Red Dead 2. I wouldn't hold it against you. I would just say that if you personally have a problem with the monetary system at play and the progression system at play, don't.
Don't do it.
If you don't, and everyone else who has a problem with it doesn't, they will fucking change it.
It will change.
And if you don't play, then there's no one to play with the Wells.
Yeah.
The Wells want to buy all this shit because they want pay to win, right? They want to be the badass.
Yeah.
And if there's no one there to bully you around but other badasses, then it's just a bunch of dumbass rich badasses bullying a bunch of dumbass rich badasses.
Mm-hmm.
Remove yourself from the situation. Don't give it a 0 on Metacritic because you fucking are on whatever
If it lowers your score, that's fine. I totally understand that. But review bombing in the first sentence, in the first sentence, saying this single player campaign is the best, and you give it a 0. Like, all right, you're obviously not being honest at that point, and
no.
User reviews aren't being honest at that point.
And that's the problem. We need to trust user reviews.
Especially because in a world where there is a huge disconnect, and you can feel it now more than any other time. Like, you go to Metacritic, and you look at the overall Metacritic score, which is based off of games journalists and professional journalists, right? Kotaku, Polygon, all these guys, as well as like Jim Sterling, because he's a accredited journalist and people like that, you know what I mean? But then you go to the user reviews, right? If you look at any game, it doesn't matter. Any game, even if it's an amazing game, the Metacritic score, the overall professional games journalist score, will be way higher than the user score.
Average.
And the user score is the market where these games are taking place. The user score is essentially a bunch of people that are actually spending money on this game and trying to enjoy it as is and not getting paid to write about it. And they're like, wow, this is crap. That is the fucking market telling you what is going on right there.
But then in the same breath, you have review bombing.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's legitimate review bombings.
Yeah.
Like, if you went and gave Zelda Breath of the Wild, a game I don't like, a 0 out of 10 for any reason, I would say you were a review bomber.
Oh,
if you went and gave, because that's the thing. I didn't really care for Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I know it wasn't a fucking 0.
And especially that number scaling 0 out of 10, so what? The game doesn't fucking exist?
So it has no value whatsoever. The $60 you spent on it bought you the 100 plus hour story. This guy who says 0 on his rating says it's fucking 100%, or it's like the best story, single player content, blah, blah, blah. It's so fun.
But it's worthless.
But the online mode is the fucking...
Yeah. And you know what I mean?
Sounds like someone needs to not play the fucking online mode.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Problem fucking solved.
And then you would think that these people, like in the case of Fallout 76, where the overall majority of people who love this game and, like, play this game, because this game tripled, the sequel to Red Dead Redemption tripled the sales on copies sold than the first game.
Yeah.
Right? So that
within like the first 3 weeks or or 3 days even, I think it was.
Right. And I'm going to bank on, I'd say 80% of that majority of people, the 85%, 80%, whatever, are people that played Red Dead Redemption 1. Right? Which didn't have an online mode. It was simply a single player RPG Western, right?
Yep.
And that's essentially like Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Fallout fans and fans of Bethesda love the single player and the story and the lore and the world and exploring and interacting with everything and having it feel like a breathing universe and have it actually feel like a role-playing game.
Like a post-apocalyptic wasteland based on a fucking alternate reality that split from fucking ours in the 50s. Like, that's what it is.
But then Fallout 76
comes
country
out. Country roads. You can't just play a song.
Yeah.
It's not the music in the Fallout games that set the period. It's not. It's the way everything else.
Yeah.
everything else. Build that world the way it is.
And how it's an alternate dimension, which is like the aesthetic of it is futuristic, but it's old-timey at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But regardless, Fallout fans, we see the reception with that with Fallout 76. It was a game that they wanted, in a way, they want a multiplayer Fallout universe game with Bethesda style, but this isn't what they wanted. And you definitely see this huge, like, shift, like, this huge disconnect between the Metacritic score and the user review. Like, Fallout 76, like, what, 5 out of 10?
Yeah, I think it was, or even 6 if you round it up.
And then the user review, 3 out of 10.
Yep. Which is below average.
People hate it. And think of how much money Fallout 76 costs. $200 for the fuck you Ultimate Edition fucking badass with a canvas bag that ended up being nylon.
Did I tell you the latest?
You fucking suckers!
Did I tell you the latest? They're sending everyone a canvas bag.
Oh my god.
But this dude on the Twitter, the guy...
So now they have money.
One of the comments on Twitter was just like, he replaced the headline with a sentence and all it said was, Bethesda does bare minimum to avoid legal action. Because it's illegal.
Oh yeah.
Like in some, like straight up. Like, they don't fuck around.
That's false advertising.
100%. Like they
false
probably...
marketing.
They probably, and then only on top of that, the dude was like, well, fucking, we don't plan on doing anything about this.
Yeah. We're not doing anything about this, and it was not cost effective. Oh, but you know, as soon as, like, you find out there's a legal suit that can actually happen, oh, now it's cost effective, ain't it? You know what I mean? And this is a game that had a bunch of lies, a controversial release, a developmental roadmap. It was buggy, it was glitchy, it got railed on. Imagine a world where it shifted and was completely different, and like Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout 76 with all of its reused assets of Fallout 4 and reused mechanics from Fallout 4, instead of it being an entirely, like, AAA price game that you have to buy into, it's free for people who have previously owned or purchased Fallout 4 with the fucking season pass. Which, by the way, is still a ridiculous amount of money that I wouldn't even spend for the fucking season pass.
I think the season pass was $50, dude.
Yeah, but that would add more of an incentive for people like me who don't think it's worth it to actually buy it.
Yeah, I might, because I have Fallout 4, but I don't have the season pass. But if they say it's included with the season pass all of a sudden, I might buy the season pass.
Yeah, because this content has come out, plus a free online mode that is tacked on.
You can still charge $50 for it, because now it's actually probably even more worth it, since from what I've heard about the DLC in Fallout 4, it wasn't even really worth it.
Yeah.
So, like, at that point, there you go. Then you can monetize it. Then you can have microtransactions coming out the ass like Red Dead 2 does, and people like me will defend you.
And regardless of whether
I would defend that move. If they did that move and, like, people were attacking it, but they came out and they said, like, straight up, fucking, this is on, well, it's a different circumstance.
Well, the microtransactions are predatory enough. Obviously, I don't want to defend those kind of anti-consumer practices.
That's the thing, because I'm not going to play Red Dead Online 2. I'm not going to play Red Dead Online 2.
And that's what I'm hoping for with Red Dead Online, that online mode is like in the same way where Fallout 76 actually had a huge shift, like how many weeks was it? Like 2-3 weeks, and it's already dropped to $40.
Dude, I think it was like within a week of release, it was down to like $35-$40.
Yeah, and then it dropped.
Now it's like even like just 30. I think I'm pretty sure you could pick it up for 30.
Yeah, and nobody's playing it. They've got a developmental roadmap and all that shit, and it's like it's very refreshing to see something come out like this, hollow, No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves feel. And have people actually turn on it and be like, dude, this is fucking garbage. Get this out of here.
So I think
Why is this here?
I think the massive difference there is Blizzard, fuck, might as well be. Bethesda is a victim of its own, like, scruples.
Right.
Is that right? I don't know. Anyway, basically, they're a victim of their own, like, their own good things that they've put out. Mm-hmm. That's not scruples. I think scruples is like a nitpicky problem. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know English, motherfucker. I just speak it.
I won't understand it.
I'm speaking in tongues, everybody.
No shit.
Doesn't mean anything. Everyone speaks in tongues. Everyone. Literally everyone speaks in tongues. You use your tongue to speak. You are speaking in tongues. Oh, fucking nonsense.
Yeah, the only people who don't speak in tongues don't have a tongue. Okay? Right?
It's the only way not to speak with tongues is if you have removed your tongue.
Yep. Mutes.
Mutes, man.
Happened back in the day, man.
Fucking mutics. Cut out their tongue and their balls.
That's just fucked
and
up,
their
man.
franks and beans.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, fucking, the thing about it is when you look at it in that sense, I feel like I would be more inclined to try that out, because I would be getting on top of the online feature of the Fallout 4. Call it just Fallout 4 Online.
Yeah.
And then have it be that it's somewhere else. You could have it be Fallout 76 still, like from the
have
Vault,
a different story. Have it take place in a different map.
Yeah, it could be exactly what it is now.
Yeah,
exactly
just
what it is.
Just free to play if you have already owned Fallout 4 the season pass.
That's why. And the thing about it is that shows you just like them taking advantage, like 100%. There were people who bought this on name alone.
Oh yeah.
Joe bought the $200 edition because he's a huge Fallout Bethesda fan.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I mean, if I would have had thrown $200 to piss away when that was around, I may have been tempted myself just for the helmet. The power helmet's dope as fuck. But the thing about it is even then I was like, I don't know if I would have, because I just had a feeling this was going to be the exact sort of shit you saw with Sea of Thieves and fucking No Man's Sky. The difference there is that No Man's Sky is Hello Games, this low indie level developer,
right? Yeah.
With this fucking "oh pity me" fucking excuse that they were able to fucking ploy out in front. We're just a small developer. We promise we'll still stick with it.
We're just a mom and pop game developer.
I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what level of developer you are. If you lie to me multiple times and tell me things about your game to sell me on that game that is not true, fuck you. You're a motherfucking liar. You're a liar in my book, and until you apologize and prove that you can stop lying, I'm not gonna fucking forgive you.
Because at that point, you've proven yourself untrustworthy, yes. Exactly now, like in the case of Todd Howard.
Well, here's the thing. I think Todd Howard only just did that. And that's the thing. That's why a lot of people were taken in by this scam. Is because up to this point, even Fallout 4, which in my opinion, like, I haven't played Skyrim though. And I haven't played anything in the Elder Scrolls prior to Morrowind. Right. I played Morrowind a little bit, but I couldn't remember. I couldn't see the fucking text. I was like trying to fucking read it. It was because I wanted it in upscaled. And so like, yeah, I wanted it in my TV's resolution, 1080. And it just ended up looking, the letters, I could not see the letters.
And because half the screen.
And since it's from a time where they didn't account for that sort of resolution because it just didn't exist yet, it's a sort of thing where you fucking, there's no options to make the text bigger. Like, there's no options to make, at least that I could find.
Right.
And so, like, that's why I didn't play it. But looking back on on Fallout 4, Fallout 3, I played about halfway through New Vegas. I played Oblivion. I played fucking a little teeny bit of Skyrim. I think it was when Ty bought it remastered on the 4.
Yeah.
I played it for like, I don't even remember, like probably an hour after that starting mission. I was just like, I don't know. I'm not into this.
Yeah.
But, so like, I've played all of them. Honestly, Fallout 4 kept me really engaged. But the thing about it is at the end of it, it felt less of an epic journey than like Oblivion, when you see like dude turn into the fucking dragon and like all that shit happening, blast is it the Draenic Lord?
The Daedric?
The Daedric Lord demon guy, right?
Yeah.
Big badass demon gets blasted. It didn't feel, and then like all these other things going on throughout that narrative. There were all these quests, but you started to repeat some of them, and it made it feel hollow when you'd be going back to these places that you had already cleared and see the same mobs respawned there. And it felt like you weren't really affecting this world, and it kind of pulled you out of it. You go to like the airport and you kill all of the Brotherhood NPCs, and then they all respawn later. and you're like, why did they respawn? Like,
I've already killed them.
let me make that decision. If I'm not smart enough to have a hard save before I do something like that, then I'm a fucking idiot. And let me live with the consequences of murdering them. That's what I want.
Right.
That's what I want. Unless you don't want that to happen. If you don't want that to happen, don't give me the option to kill him at all.
Well, it felt exactly like what we were talking about with Diablo 3. Like, they focused way too much on the action side.
Yeah.
And it was less of the RPG. And the RPG got
and
pulled back.
And they streamlined that too. Like, they streamlined level ups. They streamlined the perk system. They streamlined, you know, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, but they added like the sandbox elements.
But the thing is when you add in Fallout 4, when you add the fucking missions that feel like you don't even fucking make a difference because they're just repeatable, so you're getting sent there. When you add that onto the fucking, like, conversation wheel that's just like, you know,
that's the thing.
Nice, mean, sarcastic.
Oh yeah, you feel that way from the very core of the story.
Like, and then on top of that, you add to that the streamlined perk system. You add to that the lack of a morality meter. You add to that the fucking 1 of 3 faction endings with a couple of them brick walled in certain cases. You add it all together, and you end up with Fallout 4, in my opinion, and I'm not even going to try to give it a fucking rating out of 10. I would just say if you bought it for $60, I think you would have had a good time with it. And I think you would have got your money's worth in the amount of time you got out of it and the fun you would have got out of it. If you bought Fallout 76 for $60 or fuck $200, it's like it's this situation where that's like their worst property, the one personally that I could critique the most. Like, there's, of course, all sorts of other problems in the other games. There's bugs. You got to get, like, an online patch to apply to your game, fan-made patch, in some cases, just so you don't end up with that game-breaking bug that ruins the fucking playthrough, like in Oblivion, in fucking Fallout 3. There's one near the end. So, like, you got to apply these patches, but when you look at them on the whole, like, you can see that it's from a developer that gave a shit and was trying. They were trying. This wasn't just them saying, okay, well, we bought Fallout and we're going to sell it no matter what. Because Fallout 1 and 2, the original ones, and like the Brotherhood of Stills and all those, they weren't well known. They were PC games only. So yeah, a lot of people knew them. A lot of people played them. A lot of people, Fallout 3 was their first introduction to the fucking Fallout universe. That was the way it was for me. Fallout 3 was my introduction to the Fallout universe.
That's how it was for me, too.
That's when I first started playing it. The reason I pre-ordered that game, I got that game with the lunchbox and the bobblehead edition. Because I was playing Oblivion like fucking insane. And I was still like going in and trading in PS3 games and getting new ones every now and then. And we went in there to trade in some games, and the guy was like, well, what kind of games do you like? Because I asked him, like, that was at Game Crazy. Game Crazy was good, dude.
Yeah.
That was like the Hollywood Video outfit. That was a good fucking store, dude. Those guys, they gave a shit.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't just feed you bullshit. Like, and they would fucking tell you what was what, and that's probably why they're not around anymore.
And it's like how they asked you what kind of games you like.
Yeah. Like, just that.
I
don't remember that happening in fucking GameStop ever.
No, they're just like, have you checked out this new hot game? And really, it's a piece of shit that they have tons of physical copies they're trying to push on you.
Yeah, this dude, it was the same guy who recommended I get Dead Space, based on, I told him that I really liked Resident Evil 4 on fucking the GameCube, and it was the same guy who told me you should get Dead Space. So I trusted him, and I don't remember if that was before or after. But I also told him that I had been playing the shit out of Oblivion. And he was like, oh, dude, you're going to want to pre-order Fallout 3. He's like, it's got a really awesome collection. It's not too much. I think it was like 70, 75. It wasn't a whole lot extra.
It wasn't much.
It wasn't a whole lot extra to get that lunchbox. I mean, to be fair, the bobblehead's broken now. So it wasn't really that durable. Right. But the lunchbox is solid. The lunchbox
came with like a bunch of concept art and a whole booklet.
A booklet of art. It came with a making of disc. It had a bunch of shit on it.
Yeah.
And so like that's my introduction to the Fallout universe. And playing through Fallout 3 was one of the first open world big RPGs I'd played that was set in like that sort of setting. I'd played fantasy ones, obviously, the Oblivion and other ones.
Right.
But like the World of Warcraft, obviously, I'd played. So, like, I'd played open world fantasy games, but I never...
open world first-person shooter.
Yeah, like, apocalyptic. It was fucking insane.
With the RPG elements in there with it.
And, like, the VATS totally made up for the fact that aiming was a bitch, so you never felt like, you know, you felt almost like it was a tactical shooter, less of, like, an action-based shooter, whereas Fallout 4 is all about the action. I mean, VATS is there, but they continually move during it, so it doesn't feel so much as like a stop-and-go RPG experience, like tactical thing, kind of what the first ones were, because I've played, I think, a quarter of the first one at this point. I just gave up on it. I have a bad problem. I start a game and I get like 4 or 5 hours into it, and then I just move aside.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Like, I got ADD like a motherfucker.
It happens.
Yeah, it's pretty much the second I'm, like, to the point where I'm trailing out of the game and thinking about other things, like, I just can't play that game anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the point of this game, isn't it? To
be playing it and be interacting with it
and not
and
be
engaged.
Thinking of other shit. Like, I want to be engaged when I play. I think that's why action games do so well. And multiplayer online action games especially.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's like why GTA 5 made so much money at the end of the day.
Right.
Because it's a socially driven thing. It's, you know, and not only that, it's engaging. It's fun. You're not thinking of other shit. You're playing it, and if you would have been thinking of other shit, your friends chime in, you know, and it's, you know what I mean? You have a conversation while you're doing it, and that interacts more and stuff. And God, anyway. We need to get back on track here. Sorry, I've trailed the fuck out. But
it happens.
The point is like when I told you that about that Fallout 76, you laughed and you were like, "Dude, that's like stupid as fuck." That's like maybe if it was compared to that in that situation, if Fallout 76 had been tacked on,
or if Red Dead 2 Online
had been sold for 60
or 200.
There you go.
260 to 200 fucking dollars.
Yeah, dude. Just Red Dead Online.
Yeah, just that mode with the microtransactions and the shitty fucking grind where it's like pay to win.
Because the thing about it is they could have waited another 6 months or so, about the end of the first quarter of next year. And they could have hyped up Red Dead 2 saying they've been working on it and it's getting ready, and they could have played the whole fucking leak footage and alpha testing and beta testing, all these fancy keywords that people love to hear. People who spend a lot of fucking money on games love to hear. And so like when they could have done all of that. They could have done this marketing through the roof. They would have had the backup of the fucking idiot journalists. They have no problem selling their souls. And they could have hyped this up to be something that it absolutely wasn't. And it still would have been better than Fallout 76.
Oh, yeah.
And they still could have sold it for 60. It would have been received better than Fallout 76 because at least it fucking functions.
And it works.
Yeah. At least it works. The servers don't fucking kick you every 2 seconds for no reason. Unless you're on Sony, I'm sure. Fucking Sony servers are the best. Give us $20 a month so we can fucking be a middleman between you and the game server and fuck up that situation. Give us $20 a month for that, kids.
Please.
More money. We need it. We need it to run this online in-between between you and the game that actually slows your connection down instead of makes it better. Yep. We need your money. Fucking
online services that you have to pay for.
Fucking horse shit. Anyway, I thought that was brilliant, and I'm going to kind of pivot here, but I think that was brilliant in the case of Fallout 76, Chubbs' observation there, and I think that if they really had rolled it out in that sort of a format, Chubbs, I really believe that they would have fucking suffered a lot less grief. They would have had way more fans behind them with this decision, because it would look as more of like a gift to the fans and less of a, hey, fuck you, day one buyers.
Buy our shit.
Fuck you, day one buyers. Day one buyers are your biggest fans.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your biggest fans, dude. I don't even buy day one on fucking shit. I don't.
People who buy day one are the people who are cosplaying as characters. Even if I could
afford to. Here's a perfect fucking example, okay? My copy of Red Dead 2 I got from my buddy Cam. I was holding off purchasing it. He was holding off purchasing it. And I already told you how much he loved that fucking game. How much he was sure that that game was going to be good. He waited. And he would come over here and we'd kick it and he'd be like, let's watch some reviews. And then he'd be like, let's watch some, like, funny moments. Look up funny moments. Like, he wanted to see what it was going on in it.
Yeah, seeing
And
how
like,
it was.
I was like, oh, fuck him. I'm getting there. I might be getting this soon. And the next night, he came over and threw the disc copy on my table, on my coffee table, and he was like, hurry up and beat that bitch so I can borrow your PS4. Because Canvas... He's fucking like, he does not want to buy a 4 for that one game. He did it with the 3. I mean, he's got the fucking money. He's got the fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem to him.
But another thing is like...
But he's like, why am I going to pay for a PS4? I'm not going to play the online. Because once I told him you had to have PS Plus to have online, he was like, that's fucking stupid. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's fucking really stupid. And he's like, dude, you didn't have to have it on PS3. When I played the online mode on the PS3 on Red Dead 1, he's like, you didn't have to have it. And I'm like, yeah, that's because that was when Sony wasn't the fucking biggest dick in the room. Once they swung around, they were like fucking right out of a page of Microsoft, which used to be a boon that they offered on behalf of the customer for choosing them over Xbox. You could say that that's one of the reasons PlayStation 3 got a lot of customers, was the idea that you didn't have to pay for an online service to play your games online. Like, you shouldn't have to. They're doing nothing.
You have the internet.
They do nothing. Sony and Xbox do fucking nothing.
They do nothing.
Xbox does more, but they do nothing in the end.
The bare minimum.
I know that because I play games online on my PC all the time and I don't have to pay anyone shit. No one gets paid and I have more stable connections than I ever had on my PS4. LAN cable connected, doesn't matter. I always have better connections on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if they would stop that and like get rid of that little bit of DRM where you have to be logged into Plus in order to play, I bet you it'd be a more fluid experience for the gamer. And at the end of the day, that's you, the consumer, having a better fucking experience on the PS3 than you currently do now on the PS4. Way to fucking step your way backwards, you dumb fucks. Like, that's the thing. They don't need it anymore.
They don't.
They don't. They've got the fucking exclusives that kick ass. They've got they've got it now. They got it now. They've got all the money.
They don't even care.
They don't need it. But
they're the biggest dog in the fucking market.
Just like a fucking televangelist who has just bought himself a fucking jet airplane. They don't need it, but that doesn't mean that they don't fucking want it.
Yep.
They want all the money. They want as much money as they can get because that's humankind. Money, money, money. I want fucking money. I need all your fucking money.
Give us more money. We don't have time to work and fucking polish and release a functioning game, but please, we want more money. We need money.
Give me all your money.
We're starving over here.
We are Bethesda, Day One fans. You know this will be worth it because statistically it has been every time. Statistically, it has been worth buying Bethesda's products Day One every time. And then Fallout 6 just tanked that fucking stack.
And that's the thing. And that is what's going to damage them the most. Is that they had such a goodwill and had such a devoted following. Even past Fallout 4, which despite all of its problems and all of the reviews that were very critically...
I couldn't put it down when I was playing.
But it was fun. It was worth it. It's like you said. It was worth $60. It's worth the money.
Yeah, it's a well-earned... When you stamp AAA on certain things, it's well-deserved.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Fallout 4 is well-deserved. That had enough production value and updates from Fallout 3 to warrant the $60 asking price.
But all it takes is one move. Mm-hmm. One move! And especially when you're fucking over the people who have loved you and grew up with your games.
They're gonna be less forgiving.
Yeah, because day one buyers, it's like, look at Joe, another Joe, like they're huge fans. Dude. It's like day one buyers aren't fucking spending $200 just for the game, and those are like the people who love you and love your games and love the products you put out and are investing in you with that little extra cash in hopes of getting that returned in the form of entertainment with a fucking video game.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, you can't even fucking do that. You make video games and you can't do that.
It's fucking... It is on them to deliver like a motherfucking porn star with a pizza when it comes to fucking... When it comes to fucking delivering Elder Scrolls 6...
Which is going to work on the same engine.
That game's got to come with a strip dance and a blowjob. It's got to be so good it comes with a strip dance and a blowjob. Figuratively. Figuratively speaking. It's got to be good.
It's going to run on the same engine.
Well, I know that me now, and I know a lot more other people, because I was skeptical of fucking Fallout 76, but that's just because I follow this bullshit games as a service, and they fucking market these games the same fucking way. There's no difference between the way Sea of Thieves was marketed, to the way No Man's Sky was marketed, to the way that fucking goddamn Fallout fucking 76 was marketed. These are all marketed the same way. Destiny was marketed that way. I mean, fucking, they're still marketing Destiny that way. And fucking, when you look at Anthem, that's why when we did our last video on Fallout 76, like, the fucking, is it going to be their version of Destiny? Like, is that what it's going to be? And honestly, we didn't even expect it to be a fucking buggy mess.
At all.
Like, I mean, we were just saying
I thought
it's
it was
probably going to be...
function and work.
We were just like, it's going to be shallow as fuck, and they're going to sell you more shit almost immediately in the form of expansions. Or they're just going to dribble out content slowly, like the case of Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky.
Right.
Right? But, you know, that's the thing. We saw it, and that was because we follow that sort of marketing. We knew that that's what it was going to be. Like, I remember I just said, I bet you it's going to be a fucking disaster, Chubbs. When we were watching the E3 reveal of it, I was like, I bet you this is going to be a fucking disaster. And you were like, oh yeah? Sounds like, I think you were the one who said, sounds like Sea of Thieves all over again.
Yep.
And that's no bullshit.
Because you hear the same kind of release, the limitless possibilities.
Yep.
Have fun with your friends and do what you want. You can do anything. By basically saying you can do nothing.
Now I want to pivot the conversation a little bit, Chubbs. Is that cool?
Yeah.
You got more to say about Fallout 76?
Nah.
I'm down with it if you want to.
Nah.
So I just want to pivot the conversation real fast to a discussion I had with Fagan in our comments section. Now, the what he put forth about fucking Red Dead 2 and Rockstar really made me think. This is what he said. Basically, he was, and I'm going to be paraphrasing, but basically what he said was, if they don't say anything, then it's likely not going to change, but they have a better chance of changing it if they speak out against them.
Right.
And he said, just like when Total Biscuit came out in favor of Overwatch loot boxes, only to later come out against them when it was too late. You know what I mean? When he said he started to see the industry-wide change, he came out and he said, you know, like, it's starting to fucking really corrupt. Like, things are getting out of control.
Oh, yeah.
And so the argument put forth is that my video where I was saying, don't cry about this, don't bitch about this, you know, like, it's the sort of thing that I should actually be, like, encouraging them. And the thing about that video is I had just, like I said earlier, I had just got done fucking reading and watching and listening to a bunch of stupid children come up with stupid arguments that made no sense, okay? If you want to criticize Rockstar and you want that criticism to take effect, you can't just bitch about it, about the fucking economy, bitch about it and say like, this is greedy corporate bullshit, blah, 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 blah. The whole time showing footage of yourself playing the online mode, bitching about the grind the whole time, playing the grind. You know what I mean? Like, consistency matters. And it's like, I mean, I myself have done that. I did that with Destiny very recently. I uploaded footage of us playing it. But what I used was like, I think in total I had like 8 or 9 hours of saved footage. 8 or 9 hours out of we spent probably what, like 40 hours in it? About that.
If that. It was
once we hit the end game, it was over in like 2 play sessions.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, that's the thing about it is the goddamn thing, it's...
And that's the thing. Well, and I'm not going to sit there
undermining my own argument because,
well, no, because listen, I'm not going to defend the
microtransactions.
Well, no, because here's the thing. I'm not going to defend the microtransactions, and I'm not going to...
I wasn't either in the video.
And it's like you said, it's a tip jar, and you felt like they deserved it. And granted, they are predatory, and I do believe that there can be a tip jar kind of system, and you believe that as well, that there can be a post-monetization system where it feels like a tip jar.
Well, I think that Tom Clancy Wildlands did it fine.
Right.
I don't care if you lock, you know, certain guns or whatever behind a paywall. As long as the ones that are in the game, it doesn't feel like I need them to succeed.
Right.
As long as it feels like they're just cosmetic, and if I want to look that way, I can look that way if I give them money. It's that sort of thing that I don't really mind. And Lady X brought that up too. She said, I think that if these microtransactions were only cosmetic, they would be received better, because people would be like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. And I agree. The problem with a system where it's just like Assassin's Creed Origins and newest edition Odyssey, like Chris is playing through that. He says he really likes it, but he says the progression system is kind of fucked. He's like, I really like the combat, I'm liking the story, but the progression system is a little fucked, because
it makes you feel like you want to spend money on this game.
Well, that's because they have it developed in a way where they have microtransactions to help you level up
and speed it up.
At that point, you can rest assured that the fucking system of the progression system is supremely compromised.
Right.
The second that they're selling progression, you know that progression's going to be compromised.
Oh yeah.
And that's the problem. And you know, it's this, when you look at it like that, it's 100% correct. Like Red Dead 2 Online is a fucked, you know,
and it's
game.
Anti-consumer.
Yes.
But here's where you need to make a real big distinction.
Is it anti-consumer though?
Well, no. Is the microtransactions within the game hidden behind that extremely extreme grind and having people spending hundreds of hours only to get one thing that's even worth a shit?
Well, the way it looks right now, the way it works, from what I saw in that Jim Sterling video, he kind of laid it out. You level up and you rank up, and as you rank up, you unlock the ability to buy new guns, get new outfits, or something else. Like, basically, that's your progression. You level up and then you unlock things, but then you still have to buy those things, right?
Right.
So you hit level 5, for instance, you unlock a shotgun. This is all for instance. I haven't played it, I don't know specifics. But you fucking get to that point where, okay, now I can go buy a shotgun. So you go to the shotgun to buy, the gunsmith to buy a shotgun, and it costs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gold. Or, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or, you know, like $15 worth in gold. Right? So it's that sort of thing.
Right.
Is it anti-consumer? This is the question that we've done a lot of videos on this. Is it anti-consumer to allow the consumer the choice to buy something or not to buy something?
Because nobody, let's be honest, nobody is forcing you to play the online mode.
No one's forcing you to play the online mode.
And if that is what
no one's forcing you to not just bypass the fucking buying the gold.
If that's the only reason why you're playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sorry. But at the same time, here's where we get down to it, right? If you want to let them know, there's two separate ways, right? You can reward them by saying, dude, the single player campaign was awesome, but microtransactions in the online mode, really predatory, really uncool. If it's going to affect your overall score, sure. But don't sit there and admit that it's like one of the greatest experiences while giving it a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because that's disingenuous.
And
you enjoyed it, and you do
These are the type of babies that didn't say shit. Alright? And, like, that's the thing. There are YouTubers that I have seen saying shit about this that you can tell are disingenuous. They are attacking this without thinking about it. They are just seeing the next topic in that fucking thread of things to attack. And since many video YouTubers are making a lot of money doing it, they are now piling onto it, right? So it's become a genre, like this anti-culture gamer, this anti, you know, not culture, this anti-industry culture, sure.
Yeah.
Anti-industry culture.
Outrage culture.
Yeah. Not even outrage culture. It's definitely part of it. Definitely part of it. Because outrage does equal money. But the difference is that when Jim comes out, like if you watch his Red Dead 2 online video, he's critical of the shit.
Yes.
But he isn't railing against it the same way that he did Fallout 76. Because he understands the difference between a quality product that's overreaching and a piece of giant pile of fucking asset flip shit that's overreaching. There's a difference. And that's my point, is like, and that was a great point by Thagan he brought up. But I maintain that the best way that you can make effective changes against microtransactions is, sure, make a video, but make it well constructed. Go through the intricacies of the fact that this was only a $60 title that gave you a 100+ single player campaign with multiple playthrough potential due to the fucking honor system. Make that known. Not only that, make it known that there's an insane amount of sandbox, legitimate sandbox, not Destiny sandbox, legitimate sandbox value in this game. Of you go out, you make your own story, do whatever you want. Like, you want to
Look
grab,
how you want to look. Make
you
your
wanna,
guns look
you
how
wanna,
you want to
like,
look.
You want to, like, kidnap somebody and take them in the woods and, like, tie them up and keep them there captive and, like, make believe you're fucking trying to get ransom from somebody. You totally can do it. And you can get it to even where you would have bounty hunters looking for you. Because once you have a certain high enough bounty hunters will just come roaming. So wherever you are, you could have this fucking person kidnapped. Then have, you know, like, that's like an extreme, extreme idea I'm coming up with.
Right.
Because you can do it.
But there needs to be the distinction between that experience and the online experience.
Exactly.
And you let it known in two ways. Like I said, you let it known with your words. Like, you rail against the things you don't like. Talk about the good things you like. Which, in this case, the single-player campaign is widely liked. And I like that because the industry is trying to tell us that single-player campaign-driven games are dead. There is no market for it. When the market is saying no, there is a demand for it.
Very clearly.
There is a huge demand for it. We're making millions of dollars off of single-player-driven campaigns.
When you're bringing up Red Dead 2 microtransactions, it's not only... It's really disingenuous to not bring up the fact that the market in GTA 5 is wildly successful.
Oh, yeah.
That no one had these problems in GTA 5. None of the player base of GTA 5 Online had a problem with these. Obviously, because they kept playing it and they kept paying into it. If they had a problem with it, it wouldn't be the system you get in Red Dead 2 Online.
Yeah, well, that's
it wouldn't be the system.
Yeah, well, that's the second point, is essentially you let them know with their servers.
Yeah.
With your retention.
And
right?
also,
if there's more people playing the single player
go on there and give it a 4 out of 10. Give it a 5 out of 10.
Whatever
but when you give
like,
it a 0 out of 10, your opinion is automatically taken off of my consideration list.
Oh yeah.
If you are telling,
I think it should be taken off of everyone's.
If you are someone telling me that Red Dead 2 is a 0 out of 10 game, you're disingenuous, you're a liar, and you're not telling the whole truth with that review score. And that is review bombing, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Because that's bullshit.
Oh,
you want to review it on the online only? The online only isn't even a 0. It isn't even a 0. It might be because you feel like they're reaching for your wallet. It might be in your book, but at least it functions. At least the servers are stable. At least you can get online, get in a group with your friends, and not be disconnected every 10 fucking minutes. Right? Like Fallout 76. Like Destiny Day 1. Remember the disconnects in Destiny? Like fucking, you know, at least you're not able to leave the first star system like in No Man's Sky and end up without a warp drive like my boy Nito and end up being stuck in the second fucking solar system because it let you warp without a warp drive. And now you don't have fucking anything to build a warp drive. And now you're fucked, right? Or like your ship just disappears. Updates after updates that just fucking break your game, right? That's not the way this is. It's not a 0 out of 10.
Even No Man's Sky, and that would be the game that I would rank the lowest. In my opinion, it's not a 0.
There's no such thing as a 0 out of 10 game.
That means you found 0 enjoyment the whole time you were playing it. It felt like a chore. You found no humor. You found no enjoyment. You found nothing good.
There may be 0 out of 10 games out there. They may exist. There might be 10 out of 10 games out there. I've never played one. I've never played a 0 out of 10 game. I've never played a 10 out of 10 game. Right? That's why I don't do the scores. Because that's just too hard for me. For me, honestly, my reviews is just like, is it worth it or is it not?
Is it worth it for the AAA price?
Yeah,
is
for
it worth
$60.
It for a sell?
Yeah. That's why I love how Carrick does reviews.
Yeah.
Carrick's reviews are the shit. I can't think of a game that he has recommended, like, to buy on sale or buy full price, that I've had a fucking stark, like, disagreement with him on.
Right.
There's been none. There's been none. He's like the most, like, objective of a reviewer as you could get. He doesn't put his feelings into it. And when you put your feelings into it, that's how you end up with a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10. But that's, so like I wanted to talk about that. It was good points brought up by Fagan. I mean, yeah, obviously we're not over here saying that like I'm just saying they deserve the money. Well, I think in my opinion, they definitely deserve to have some sort of monetization.
And whether it's this or not is dependent on the people who play the game.
And I feel
if you let them know by having more people playing the single player mode than the online mode, that automatically shows them that the single player mode is the correct way, and the online mode needs some working.
Yeah.
And it's like we said about like MMOs that release. I remember buying into Star Wars on the Old Republic online MMO. $60 for the base version of the game, on top of $15 for a month, and I bought like 3 months with the $60 version. And then I played it and was like, dude, this
doesn't even have an end game.
This doesn't have an end game. And then they even released to the people.
I remember playing that on Chris's PC, dude, and I was like, he let me play it for like I think 2 or 3 hours. And I really liked it, but then like
it was good story.
You were already at the end game, and you were like, dude, there's nothing to do in this fucking game.
It was the story,
yeah,
leading up to the end game, and then the developers even came out and said, dude, we spent too much money on the story. We forgot to put an end game in an MMORPG. So would you guys mind just like playing a different character over and over again and enjoying the story for what it is? And then it eventually goes free to play. You know what I mean?
And it's insulting. It's insulting to Day One fans.
Oh yeah.
Once again.
Oh yeah.
So that's the thing. Sure.
But the people let that game know.
Well, I'm saying be fucking they did. They canceled subscriptions. Yeah, they stopped playing it, and that's when they were like, oh well, now it's free to play.
And then they came back, and then they gave more feedback, and then next thing you know, you have this living symbiosis between the community and the game developers, where the game developers aren't paying a bunch of journo jack-offs to write for them and fluff them up, and now you have this huge disconnect between review ratings. What should I go for? The fucking professional critics or just average Joe who loves games? Like...
yeah, that's the thing about it. When it comes straight down to it, you gotta remember that there is a fucking difference between Red Dead 2 Online and other games, alright? Red Dead 2 is not anti-consumer in my opinion. It didn't sell just itself. When you do buy microtransactions, you have a very clear idea of the value of the thing you're buying and the value of what you're purchasing with the in-game currency. So you know X amount of dollars gets you X amount of gold, gets you X amount of things in-game that you pick out. You're able to pick out. It's not anti-consumer in any way. It's leaving the choice up to the consumer. Is it overreaching, unnecessary, clearly greed? Yeah. Yeah. But it's not anti-consumer. It's not taking advantage of anyone. It's not marketing itself towards children and then selling them slot machines. Right? It's not marketing itself as like the greatest experience ever that you're ever going to have and then releasing as a barely functioning mess. It's not anti-consumer. And that's why I stand behind Rockstar. I stand behind Red Dead Redemption 2. Just the same way I would. The same way I did when fucking GOG and fucking CDPR dropped the fucking card game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There's a huge difference between it and Hearthstone. It's way more fucking fair to the player. It gives you more things. But it's definitely pay to win. I mean, it's a card game. Right? But it's not a bullshit card game with drop rates. And people who play the two of them can tell. And people have been going to fucking Gwent way more. Way more. More and more and more people are going to Gwent over Hearthstone. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Because Hearthstone's clearly anti-consumer at the point when you reveal drop rates and they appear to be fucked with. So that they're trying to drive up the price of a full set by making it restrict the drops you get. Right? They have total control. They don't have to release drop rates. They don't have to tell you what's in them. It's not even like Magic the Gathering where you know you're getting like a legendary and like, you know, a chance at a foil or whatever. But you're going to get like that super good card.
Right.
And it could be a mythic, you know, but it's going to be a rare. Like you're going to get a fucking rare. It's not like that. Blizzard doesn't do that. They don't have to tell you shit. They can tell you whatever the fuck they want. Right? It doesn't matter. They can clearly be fucking with it. Making certain cards super hard to obtain so that the hardcore dudes who need the full set of Hearthstone are paying out the ass to get it. And there you go. This isn't like that. This isn't a randomized loot box system. This is a, give me X amount of dollars, I'll give you X amount of currency, you can get X amount of value for it. Do you want to do that? Yes? Okay, well here's your gold, give me my money. And that's my point. I hope that's a good rebuttal, Fagin. I really appreciate your argument though, because it's good to take a step back and look at it from that perspective. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't give this game online, the online version of this game, shit. I'm not saying that they shouldn't give this system shit. I'm not saying they shouldn't say their beefs with the progression system, their beefs with the fucking loot boxes, but they can't do it like they're crying about fucking like something that's like the worst thing, the personal affront to gamers everywhere. This is hurtful to gamers.
Worse than Fallout 76.
It's not. If it was, then GTA 5 wouldn't have done so goddamn well. GTA 5 kicked ass. Online kicked ass. People loved it. They played it a lot, and they bought a lot of money in there. And that's why now you have Red Dead Redemption 2 online.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, that's it for me and Chubbz for this edition of whatever the fuck we call these videos.
Discussion videos where we talk about the industry as a whole and compare other games to other releases and kind of like see a clear, distinct difference between how
where we're right 99% of the time.
Exactly.
I won't take 100 because I know I'm full of shit sometimes. But we have called fucking goddamn shit after shit after shit after shit. Mm-hmm. Back in July, Jackson's Trails was telling you not to buy Fallout 76. And if you would have fucking listened, you wouldn't have been burned. Because that's how right we are.
Because we know.
Sorry.
Nobody knew.
It's fucking frustrating, dude.
Nobody fucking knew.
It's fucking frustrating. And you see, and like, we get attacked. We get attacked. Like, there's someone, go look at that Fallout 76 video we put up in July. And just read a couple of the comments. Like, we still get attacked. Like, oh, sorry we're being cautious. Sorry we're being cautiously...
Sorry we're telling you to stamp down your hype.
In that video, if you listen to that fucking video, we were being cautiously optimistic, but we still said we were going to wait on it for reviews. We were going to wait on it. Wait for it to release. Wait to see what it is. Because we don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know. From what Todd's told me, it sounds like it's going to be amazing. But that's the problem. A lot of dudes have told me a lot of shit that sound amazing. And it fucking rarely ever is.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for us, everybody. Fucking love you. Till next time, keep kicking ass, stay safe, stay awesome, and
take care, everyone.